Welcome to SA News Weekly News Update. We'll cover the top stories from across the United States, important developments worldwide, and new insights from the world of health and science. The National Transportation Safety Board, NTSB, has released a preliminary report providing the first harrowing details on the deadly UPS cargo plane crash in Louisville, Kentucky. The report, utilizing flight data and cockpit voice recordings, includes a frame-by-frame analysis revealing the final catastrophic moments of the flight. Investigators confirmed that the left engine broke off the wing just seconds after takeoff, immediately followed by an explosion that engulfed the engine in a massive fireball. This type of severe mechanical failure, occurring at a critical phase of flight, points to a potential material or design flaw that warrants immediate attention across the global fleet of similar aircraft. The report does not assign blame but focuses on factual findings. The key takeaway for the public and the aviation industry is the visual confirmation of the engine's near-immediate separation, highlighting the sudden, non-survivable nature of the event for the two crew members aboard. While the NTSB's full investigation will take many months, this preliminary data is crucial, suggesting that the initial focus will be on the engine's mounting assembly and maintenance records. The tragic loss of life, coupled with the potential implications for aviation safety, has put immediate pressure on manufacturers and airlines to review inspection protocols. This incident serves as a stark reminder of the immense forces and precision required in modern flight, and the dire consequences when even a single component fails at a critical juncture. In a crucial and highly partisan vote, the House Ways and Means Committee has approved a significant piece of legislation aimed at ensuring the long-term solvency of Social Security. The bill, which now moves to the full House floor, proposes a controversial blend of adjustments. It raises the cap on earnings subject to the Social Security payroll tax and includes a gradual increase in the full retirement age for younger workers. Supporters argue that these measures are necessary to prevent the program's trust fund from being depleted, a date currently projected to arrive within the next decade. Opponents, however, contend that the changes unfairly burden the working class, particularly the increase in the full retirement age, which they view as a benefit cut. The legislation highlights the persistent political tension surrounding America's most vital safety net program. The political battle is intensifying as lawmakers must balance fiscal responsibility with the promise made to current and future retirees. The passage out of committee marks a major step forward, but the fight is far from over. Debate in the full House and Senate is expected to be fierce, making this one of the most closely watched domestic policy developments of the year, with profound financial implications for every American worker and retiree. In a significant update on one of the world's most enduring conflicts, President Donald J. Trump offered his perspective on the ongoing negotiations aimed at achieving a peace deal between Russia and Ukraine. Speaking to reporters on November 25th, the president stated that while the two sides are making progress and having good talks, he cautioned that this is probably one of the more difficult ones to settle due to the long-standing hatred involved. The president referenced a previously proposed, though controversial, 28-point plan as a foundational concept for the negotiations, with the current sticking points revolving around key issues such as territorial delineation, specifically issues of going land both ways, and the complex matter of security guarantees for Ukraine, which he noted the U.S. is working on with Europe. He emphasized his view that both parties are tired of fighting, noting the immense loss of life on both sides, but also highlighting Russia's significantly larger population pool for soldiers. This assessment suggests an underlying pressure on Ukraine to find a resolution sooner rather than later. The president's direct involvement and public commentary underscore the high-stakes nature of the talks and the immense political capital invested in achieving a diplomatic conclusion to the war, which has dramatically reshaped international relations and global energy markets. A successful resolution would be a monumental geopolitical achievement, while a failure risks a protracted and even deadlier conflict. The United Nations Security Council has passed a critical, non-binding resolution calling for an immediate and sustained humanitarian ceasefire in the Gaza Strip. The vote, which saw several key nations abstain rather than veto, reflects the growing international alarm over the escalating violence and the worsening humanitarian crisis. The resolution specifically demands the safe and unimpeded delivery of life-saving aid, including food, water, and medical supplies, to the besieged civilian population. It also calls for the immediate and unconditional release of all remaining hostages. This resolution is a strong signal of global consensus on the urgent need for a pause in the fighting, even if it lacks the enforcement mechanisms of a Chapter 7 resolution. The ongoing conflict has created a catastrophe, with aid organizations warning that the entire region is on the brink of widespread famine and disease. The action by the Security Council places renewed political pressure on the combatants to prioritize civilian lives and engage seriously in de-escalation. International observers note that while the resolution is a diplomatic success, its real impact will be measured by whether the parties on the ground heed the global community's plea and cease hostilities to allow humanitarian access. The outcome of this diplomatic effort could determine the fate of millions caught in the crossfire. A concerning new study published this week reveals a critical flaw in current preventative health practices. Nearly half of all heart attacks are striking individuals who were previously classified as low risk by the most widely used risk calculators. The research indicates that these standard models, including newer ones like the PREVENT model, consistently misclassify a substantial portion of the population. The core issue lies in the reliance on a limited set of traditional risk factors such as cholesterol levels, blood pressure, and smoking history. The study suggests that many individuals develop cardiac events due to hidden, non-traditional risk factors that are not adequately accounted for in the current algorithms. These overlooked indicators may include subtle inflammatory markers, genetic predispositions outside of common screenings, or even lifestyle factors that are difficult to quantify. For patients, the study serves as a crucial warning that a low-risk assessment is not a guarantee of safety. For clinicians, it calls for an urgent shift toward more comprehensive screening methods that integrate deeper biological and genetic data. Leading into National Pollution Control Day, observed annually on December 2nd, a piece published on the official channel of Sant Rampal Ji Maharaj broadened the scope of the environmental observance by calling for the eradication of social pollution in addition to environmental contaminants. The article argues that societal evils, such as corruption, drug addiction, and dowry, are forms of pollution that equally harm humanity and obstruct progress toward a harmonious society. This perspective elevates the traditional focus on air and water quality to include moral and ethical health. By addressing social vices through spiritual and welfare programs, the organization aims to promote a holistic approach to national well-being. The message stresses that only by cleansing society of these pollutants can true peace and prosperity be achieved, linking spiritual practice directly to environmental and social health outcomes. And that wraps up this week's bulletin. Thank you for joining SA News, and we'll see you next week. Truth that you want to know.